Hi everyone, thank you for joining Money in Mandarin. Today we are joined by Miss Winnie Yu, and she's currently the owner of an online gadget store named One Stop Shop. She's a very passionate advocate of Mandarin Chinese and is here to tell us more about her career and business and her success despite not growing up in a Mandarin speaking environment and how you can duplicate her success as well. So thanks for joining us, Winnie.
Hi, Alan. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So let's get right into the questions and help people learn what you do. Um, so you're currently in a very competitive niche, which is the online gadget store, and assume you need all the advantages you can get to succeed. So how does your fluency in Mandarin Chinese help you do this?
Well, at this time and age, everyone knows that Mandarin is very important, and that holds true to any industry, not limited to just the gadget industry. So we also know that in any business, one of the most important things is the supply,
Mm-hmm.
supply of your items. So, well, I guess in my case, Mandarin helped me a lot because I was able to converse with my suppliers in their first language, Mandarin, and I guess that made me a lot closer to them. And maybe sometimes they feel that we're on the same ground. So sometimes they give me tips, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess sometimes I can also strike a better deal with them
Mm-hmm.
because I can understand their language and I can speak fluently in their language.
I see, but these suppliers could also speak in English, but they prefer speaking in Chinese. Is that right?
Yes, they can speak in English, but then
Mhm.
good luck understanding me.
I see. So,
So
mhm,
it's a lot. It's a lot easier and it's more convenient if you can just speak in Mandarin with them.
mhm.
And
Also, and I think of course in doing business, it's not always all the technical stuff. You need to build relationships as well. So I guess Mandarin helps you build a better rapport with your
well, yeah.
suppliers.
Well, yes, that is true because well, sometimes outside of business, they would call and then they would tell me all about their problems.
No,
Where
really.
we became friends already.
Mm,
And I think that me being fluent in Mandarin that contributed a lot to that.
nice. Also, the thought of doing business in Chinese is very intimidating, especially for beginners. So, did you have prior experience with doing business in Chinese so that your confidence in dealing with Chinese suppliers is quite strong?
Well, first of all, I did not go into this business because I'm fluent in Mandarin.
Mm,
Well, I just well, how do I say this? Uh, I'm already in the business,
mm-hmm.
and then I started looking for suppliers,
Okay.
and then I realized that most of the suppliers I'm looking for are in Chinese speaking countries because face it,
Mm-hmm.
the suppliers nowadays where do they come from? They come
Mm-hmm.
from China, Singapore, from Chinese speaking countries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when it hit me that I have an advantage over other people because I was fluent in Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
So, do you in dealing with them? Do you have previous training for business Mandarin, or is the normal conversational Mandarin enough for you to deal with them?
well, I did not have any prior training in
Mm-hmm.
business Mandarin, but for starters, I just conversed with them with everyday Mandarin, just
Mm-hmm.
uh, normal Mandarin, and then sometimes when I need to say some business terms, I would say it in English, and
Okay.
if I don't know the Chinese term, I would say it in English, and they can understand. They
Mm-hmm.
can understand, and then I would ask them, "How do you say that in Mandarin?"
Mm-hmm.
That way I also learn from them. And then the
Right.
next time I can already talk to them about the business term about that business term in
Mm.
Mandarin.
So you're learning by doing rather than
Yes.
studying for it,
Learning
right?
by doing, learning
Right.
by
Nice. So in a bigger scale of things, how important is learning Mandarin in business or in career? Because I know that you're a translator at Chinoy TV, and you previously worked at a petroleum company where you got language premium for in your job.
Well, well, how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important because first of all, you cannot. Well, language it's something you use to communicate to
Right.
another person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if that that's like the most basic thing
Mm-hmm.
in any relationship, whether business or in friendship or in
Right.
whatever. So, for example, if you cannot communicate properly with another person, I think that explains everything because well, how can you establish a relationship if you cannot, in the first place, if you cannot communicate properly?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, well, in today's time and age, since I think it has to do with China becoming stronger and stronger,
Mm-hmm.
Chinese is also becoming more and more important because
Mm-hmm.
we see in our everyday life that we just cannot live without Chinese because everywhere we meet Chinese people, we have
Mm-hmm.
to do business with Chinese people. That's why I think it's very important that we learn, even if not so fluent, we have to be able to speak in Mandarin,
Mm-hmm.
especially Filipino Chinese.
Right. Right. So taking a step back, we talk about your business, your career. So let's talk about how adults could duplicate what you've done and how you learned the language in the first place, because it's quite an interesting story as well. And I think people could learn a lot because people would think that you came from a Mandarin speaking family, like you're totally immersed from the start. But could you tell us more of your experience growing up here in the Philippines? Um, and what is the language environment that you grew up in?
Well, when I was a kid, my parents would always speak to us in Hokkien,
Mm-hmm.
but I cannot understand not even a single Mandarin word.
Mm-hmm.
And well, when I was in about grade three, I think my dad he started watching. Actually, my parents are very modern. They're not very traditional
Mm-hmm.
Chinese type, insisting that their children should speak Mandarin. Their
Mm-hmm.
children should. But my dad he started watching this Chinese series,
Mm-hmm.
and then at that time I was like, why are you watching that? I cannot understand.
Right.
I don't even know what they're talking about. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot relate.
Right.
But then, well, might as well just watch with him. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was, daddy wants to watch. I have to watch. I don't have choice.
Right.
I started watching with him, and as time goes by, it became interesting. At first, I was just attracted to the costume
Mm-hmm.
because it's really nice. And then, as time went by, everything became more and more interesting. And then I realized that I started to understand some of the words they're saying. And then I realized that as time went by, I realized that I'm part of this culture. It's
Mm-hmm.
a 5,000-year-old culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know about it at first.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I know, I I just have to learn more. I just
Mm-hmm.
have to know more about the culture. I just think that it's such a waste that before I don't even know about all this, and then since now I already know, I have to learn more.
Nice, nice. So I think you also you went to a Chinese school. Did it help you in any way learning Mandarin? And what limitations did your school have in teaching you the language?
My school, I graduated from Grace Christian High School. My
Mm-hmm.
school is not one of those downtown Manila school, very
Mm-hmm.
focused on Chinese teaching. No, my school is more focused on English
Mm-hmm.
subject. We have a 2 hour Chinese class, and it's even classified as foreign language.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess in a way it did help because
Mm-hmm.
any Chinese class would help, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not what made me fluent in Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
It's watching this TV series.
Mm-hmm.
What
So the TV series piqued your interest. Then and your school, though it did teach Mandarin, it didn't really. it wasn't the one that pushed you into fluency. So, would
Yes.
you say that what sort of self study did you do to achieve this kind of fluency?
Well, because that through watching the series, it perked up my interest in
Mm-hmm.
Chinese language, and then so what I did actually in Chinese history, but then Chinese history led to Chinese language.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So what I did was well, I listened in class in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened in class, and then I did research on my own. On my free time, I would browse websites, browse articles. I would read on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes on weekends, I would ask my parents if they can bring me to Binondo to
Mm-hmm.
rent uh, to rent Chinese series,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
So it's
Sometimes I also have this notebook of mine and I would list down those those idioms, the
right,
4 word, 7 word
right.
Chinese.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I would list them down and then I would write the English translation. So I would
Mm-hmm.
remember them, what
Mm-hmm.
they mean, how they came to be,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
So from the sounds of it, you kind of learn more from your self-study than what you learn from school. Is that right? Is that it?
Because I think in not limited to language. I
Mm-hmm.
think in anything, as long as you love it,
Right.
as long as you have interest for it, it's very easy to learn
Right.
because the interest itself would push you to know more and to learn more.
Right. Right. I guess that's the main motivation to learn anything, not only language. Is your innate passion or interest in the subject, right? So, so if would you have any suggestions? You learned your interest was piqued by videos. Do you have any resources, especially online, that you could share where people could view videos, see what you watch, and maybe duplicate what you learned and your experience?
Well, there are sites like Chinese counterpart of like YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, I think they can browse videos. It's called
Mm.
tuto.com. I
Tutorial.com.
send you the link
Okay. Sure.
tuto.com, and then there's TPS.
TPS.
You can It's an application, and I think it's very helpful because you can download it on your iPad,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can watch movies
Right.
on
Right.
your iPad.
And they could get their iPads from you, right?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, yes, so you're right. They can get their iPads from me.
right. Also, one of the newer ones, a video website that I discovered are my friends from fluentu.com. They if I'm not sure if you have heard of them. They play videos because the problem with videos is when you play videos then you have subtitles and you don't know what the opinion or what they mean. You have to pause it and you have to find the dictionary and search the meaning. So what Fluent U does is they have the subtitles there, but they are clickable. So when you don't understand something, just click on the word on the subtitles, and they will show the opinion and the definition, and you could save that vocabulary in your vocabulary list and review it sometime in the future. And yeah, that's another one of the newer video softwares around, and you could check that out as well. So, what would you advise, like, for example, our age, around 20s, 30s, already working, if they want to take advantage of Mandarin fluency in their career or business, what would you suggest them to do at the start? Like, if someone's from zero background or just a beginner, do you suggest them to have a tutor, to attend formal classes, to learn online? Maybe you could share your opinion on this aspect.
Well, I think definitely they need to have a tutor.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. But then they can do it simultaneously. They can have a tutor and then maybe at night during their leisure time. they can watch Chinese movies because I think that's really effective
Mm-hmm.
and it would help them a lot. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when they watch the movies and then they would encounter some terms that they don't understand, they can actually write it down and then the next day they can ask the tutor, how do you use
Right.
this word? What does this mean?
Right. That's good. I think you're coming from the angle that you need to have the interest first. So
Yes,
by watching movies, it has a bigger chance of making you curious about the language than
yes,
taking action and having
yes.
someone like the tutor to help you out along the way. Right.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because if you're not interested in
Mm-hmm.
something, even if it's very easy to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you won't learn anything.
Right.
Would not there's nothing that would push you to know more about that subject, about that specific matter.
Mm-hmm.
But if you well face it, Mandarin is a very language. It's a very difficult language.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so if you don't have that interest, I think it's very hard to learn. But
Mm-hmm.
then if you're interested and if there's something that's pushing you to learn more about Mandarin, I think everything would be very easy for you.
Right. Right.
So that's why I suggested that they watch the movies. So they can be interested. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this culture is
Right.
interesting. Then they would learn more about it.
Do you have any movies that you'd like to suggest people to watch? And like,
But there are quite a number of good movies playing,
mm-hmm.
Chinese movies playing. So they can just watch whatever interests them. For example, if they like action movies, they can just search for action movies.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Right.
watch.
Right. Okay. So, thank you very much, Winnie, for joining us. And maybe you'd like to invite them to maybe visit your site.
Okay. Hello everyone. Thank you for watching this video interview with Alan. I would also like to invite everyone to please visit my online site. It's One Stop Shop Gadget. I would like you to like my Facebook page instead. It's www.facebook.com/one stop shop gadget.
Great. Great. So, yeah, I'll post a link to that on this page and hope to see you soon in our future videos. Thank you.
Thank you also, Alan.
Bye bye.